manual focus. So now I put extension on and I have 2000.
What's the aperture?
It's gonna be not in A, but
Okay, it's nice.
yeah.
What ISO are you working at?
No ISO white balance 4050. That's the ISO but video. So always in video we have white balance. Yes, it's all finished. Jawohl, check. Jawohl. Von der Fans bringen. Wellerlinke Sitze.
Welcome to the Montanera to World Championship Bumblebee 2024 in Fitzgerald. Today's afternoon game between Team Switzerland and Team Czechia. Team Switzerland playing in this formation. Number 44 in goal, Anya Chin. 75, Julia Scagliozio. 30, Tess Nicolai. 19, Stephanie Kreil. 23, Stephanie Kruger. 28, Sabrina Arn. 73, Jamie Roth. 71, Angela Braungarten. 84, Sally Hofer. 18, Robin Blecki. 97, Rebecca Buldorfer. 3, Manon Reh. 8, Cheyenne Garner. 10, Chandon Retz. 14, Heike Bissi. 22, Larissa Nuti. 24, Anna Kleiner. Kristina Kotungova. 86, Teresa Istodala. 12, Patricia Skopikova. 9, Karolina Protapskova. 17, Natalie Pakarolova. 24, Teresa Kotikova. 61, Martina Landova. 22, Lucy Mamartova. 7, Andrea Kantorova. 71, Natalie Pavlachkova.
Hey hockey fans, welcome back to the 2024 ISBHF World Ball Hockey Championships. Got a great matchup for you here. First game of the tournament for both Czechia and Switzerland in the women's division. Home team Switzerland being welcomed by a very raucous and ready to go home crowd here in beautiful Vis, Switzerland. I'll be your play-by-play announcer for this game, Chris Bakanowitz. Happy to have you with us as both teams get ready for their final pregame speeches, as the captains exchange pleasantries and small gifts with the referees, as is tradition here at the ISBHF World Ball Hockey Championships. Should be a great one. Want to give a special thanks to our sponsor, Napper. For all your ball hockey needs, make sure you visit napper.com. And also want to give a special thanks to all of the great sponsors that have worked hand in hand with the tournament organizing committee here in beautiful Vis, Switzerland. They've done a tremendous job welcoming the ISBHF as well as all of the countries, the players, their friends, families, and fans from all around the world. We've only been here for a day. This is the second day of action, but so far it's been nothing short of spectacular. And we're looking forward to a very loud ovation here for Switzerland. They've already received several as they made their way onto the floor for pregame warm-ups. In terms of matchups, and looking at Czechia, they've medaled in several of the previous tournaments for the women, and that is their goal. Czechia is one of the ball hockey powerhouses of the world, so these women are looking to come out fast, hard, and set a tone early against Switzerland. On the opposite side, Switzerland does have a veteran roster, but they also have a good mix of younger players. So it'll be interesting to see how these younger players come out against this powerhouse Czech team as we're ready for the ball drop. As the ball is sent into the Swiss zone, picked up by Switzerland, and then immediately intercepted by Czechs. Chipped out of the zone by Switzerland. Early opportunity potential here. She can get a shot on net. Oh, good positional save. Took an extra couple of steps out of the net there, did the Czech netminder. And as I've been saying throughout all the games I've called, if you want live scoring, we have it in effect. Just visit stats.isbhf.com. The link is directly on our homepage. You can see all the goal scorers, assists, and shots on goal as we get an early stoppage of play here. I believe the ball bounced up into the Swiss bench. So getting back to Switzerland, a mix age-wise on their roster. Some veteran players, but certainly some younger players. And I think it'll be interesting for the coaching staff to see how they balance this against what is essentially a very veteran Czech team as they walk in all alone. Shot just goes wide as the goalie gets pushed into the net. The Swiss fans screaming for a call. No call. A parade of boos raining down. Shot, glove save, and now there's a bunch of cheers as number 7 for the Czech Republic, Andrea Kontorova, came storming in looking for a rebound, but the Swiss netminder, number 44, Anja Sheeran, was not having any of that. Well, Switzerland has home floor advantage here, so anytime there's a questionable call, certainly going to expect the crowd to make some noise. In net for the Czech Republic is Anita Zherakova, as Switzerland dumps it into the Czech Republic zone. Battle along the far boards. Czech Republic trying to stick handle it out. Intercepted by Switzerland. Then picked back up by the Czechs. Ball is dumped deep into the Swiss zone, and we are going to get our first flooring call. So for those fans joining us back home that have not tuned in yet to one of our live stream events here, when we say flooring, if you're familiar with hockey, it's the same thing as icing. Obviously, we don't play on ice here. We play on a sport court. Thus, we call it flooring. But the rule is the same as it is in ice hockey. We just call it flooring. So the face-off will be to the right of the Czech netminder, Anita Zherakova. Switzerland picks it up, back behind Zherakova. Switzerland still wheeling and dealing with it, trying to get the ball out in front. Now it's locked up along the post as there's some pushing and shoving in front. And a chorus of cheers for the hometown Swiss team. Good work behind the net there by number 91, Emma Berry for Switzerland, as they get wholesale line changes. So it looks like number 77, Martina Zoller, will take the draw for Switzerland. Chip forward by the Czechs. They potentially have numbers here. 2-on-1 developing. Can the Switzerland team get back? 71 has it for Czech. Shot save. Good positional goaltending there by Anja Sheeran. As number 71, Natalie Pavlikova, came screaming down the right wing. Both netminders looking sharp early, as you can see here on the replay. Was trying to go five-hole, but nice butterfly positional save. Keep Czech Republic off the board. Switzerland behind the net. Hemmed in by two Czech forwards. Czech gained possession. Good work on the forecheck there. Chipped up behind the net. Still two Czech forwards down behind the net. Now it comes up along the near board, but kept in, and almost the too many women on the floor call there. Switzerland needs to be careful with those line changes as they gain the Czech zone. Shot easily gloved down for the faceoff by Zherakova, and hands the referee the ball, and the faceoff will come out to her right. So something the Swiss coaching staff will need to keep an eye on. Make sure those line changes are cleaned up. We just saw in the previous game Great Britain get called twice for too many men on the floor. And at the World Championship level, certainly mental mistakes need to be limited. Shot looks like it was deflected into the corner. Still a battle along the boards. Picked up by Switzerland. Sent up along the far boards, intercepted by the Czechs. Now picked up by Switzerland. Switzerland potentially with numbers here. 2-on-1 developing. Can the Czech Republic get back? Shot, glove down. Smart play there by Zherakova, gloving it down right into the stick of her defender. Zone gained by the Czech Republic. Trying to walk in was a Czech forward there, but was stymied by the Swiss defense. Good stick work. Sent up, I believe that's going to be a flooring call here, as the Swiss forward did not have the red line. So the faceoff will come back into the Swiss zone. Nothing the score. 11:23 remaining here in the first period between the opening matchup for both of these teams in the women's division. Czech Republic in white with red shorts. Switzerland wearing their traditional black uniforms. Ball behind the net. I think both players overran it. Now picked up by Czech Republic. Shot deflected. Goes up to the blue line, kept in. Czech Republic with it. A wrist shot goes well high over the net. Picked up again by the Czechs. Long wrist shot high again. Ball bounces. Czechs trying to wheel and deal out in front. Errant pass. And then swept all the way up by Zhirikova to center floor. So Czechs getting some line changes here. Switzerland will go regroup back behind their net. Try and get one of their set outlet passes going here, up along the far boards, chipped up to center. Looking to gain the zone. They do. Dumped in down deep, and I believe we're going to get a whistle here as Zhirikova is content to just get a glove on it. So Swiss head coach Gerhard Christen will, I'm sure, be juggling rosters throughout this tournament with a mixture of new and old on the team. As far as the Czech head coach, Michal Brulik, a veteran of these World Championships, so Switzerland gains his own. Wrist shot goes high over the net. Going to say, I believe Brulik has probably had set lines for certainly at least the last couple of camps, so we'll see how that plays out as the tournament develops over the next week. Player loses their footing, no call, clean hockey. Centering attempt picked up by the Swiss. Over to center floor. Corralled up by the Czechs as the Swiss get wholesale line changes. Oh, good stick work there by the Swiss forward as the Czech Republic, Proshkova carries it into the zone. Long shot, knocked down, and then chipped out. Referee has their arm up. We're going to another flooring call here, so the faceoff will come all the way down deep to the left of the Swiss netminder onto Sheeran. Face off won cleanly. Good draw win there by Marilyn Janjic for Switzerland. Poke check back behind the net by the Czechs. Shot, oh, just goes wide. Ball took a weird carom, found the stick of the Czech forward. Work back behind the net. Switzerland throwing it up along the far boards. Intercepted by the Czechs. Here's an opportunity, walking in all alone. Shot poked away. Shot goes through the crease. Rebound attempt blocked. Oh, Switzerland dodged a bullet there. As number 8 for the Czech Republic, Barbara Patakova, walked in all alone and then sent her own rebound effort right through the crease. Outstanding hands by Patakova as that shot goes wide. Czech still with sustained pressure. Good save by Sheeran. Switzerland wheeling and dealing behind their own net as several of the Czechs went off for a line change, and we're going to get another flooring call here, so Switzerland will not be able to change. .7:53 left here in the opening period. 0-0. Switzerland in black, Czech Republic in white and red. Face off one into the corner by the Czechs. Back to their defense. Long wrist shot goes well wide. Czechs trying to work a cycle here. Back to the point. Long shot goes well wide. That was Teresa Radova that shot that one wide. Picked up by number 7, Kantarova. Shot in front. Oh, good poke check there by number 84, Sealy Hofer for Switzerland. Czech still with it. Czechs with some sustained pressure here. Switzerland's tired because of those line changes with the flooring. Shot, rebound. Oh, what a stop. Sheeran. A loud applause as she made her first outstanding save of the tournament. Lost sight of the ball there as the initial rebound went up over her head. As a goaltender myself, those are some of the toughest shots because when you lose track of it, all you can do is hope the ball hits you. But she found it, tracked it, and made the save. Czechs gained the zone again, walking in her own shot. Oh, another good save by Sheeran. Took an extra step and cut down the angle. Believe the ball went off of her shoulder. So Czechs with sustained pressure here in the first period. Switzerland trying to survive an onslaught. Nice move, shot, good save. Sheeran again. Down into the butterfly she went after Martina Landova walked in. Had a nice clean look at the net. Czechs behind their net. Over to the far board. And we may now get a flooring call against the Czechs. I believe so. Yes, we do. So now the Czechs will not be allowed to change. And Switzerland is going to get wholesale line changes. I see Miller coming out, number 77. I see 87, Elise Vui come out. Number 81, Celine Zvinden. On defense, I also see number 18, Corinne Berger. Rifled all the way around to the near boards. Picked up by the Czechs. Onto the stick of number 61, Martina Landova. She's already showed her stick handling ability. Picked up behind the net, centering attempt blocked. Ball ends up loose in front of the net. Switzerland potentially could get numbers here, but Czechs hustling back. Oh, ball just rolls past number 77, Martina Moller. Kept in at the red line, intercepted by the Czechs. Just dumped harmlessly in the neutral zone where Switzerland will corral it back up. And that one's sent all the way down. We're going to get another flooring call. So the Czechs will bring on a set of fresh legs. All right, so ref comes over, gets ready for the draw to the left of Sheeran. Still a loose ball. Skitters through the front of the crease, picked up by Switzerland. Czechs trying to keep it in at the zone. Cleared out by Switzerland. See the arm up. Is this going to be a flooring call? No, it's waved off. Sent up along the far boards, picked up by Czech Republic. They gain the zone. Czechs potentially with numbers 3-on-2. Good look at the net here. Fakes the shot, pass down low. Centering attempt, shot blocked. Good block there by Switzerland. That was Rebecca Bergdorfer. Switzerland doing a great job clogging the shooting lane so far. Switzerland giving chase. Both players battling for position along the far boards. Referee yelling at them to move it. Move your feet. Swiss player loses their footing. Now the Czech Republic pick it up. Oh, bad turnover there by Czech Republic. Shot by number 10 just went wide. Thought she might have walked that one in there for a second. That was Chantal Ratz. Czechs with it behind their net. Up along the near boards, chipped up into the neutral zone, sent in deep. Czechs gain the zone. Czechs trying to walk in all alone. Shot! Oh, what a stop! Boy, I'll tell you, she's on her game. Anja Sheeran with 3 huge saves already in the first period as we approach the 3-minute mark. Czechs trying to walk it back out in front. Czechs still with possession. They've controlled most of the offensive play here and the tempo of the game as we reach 2:57 left in the first period. So the faceoff will come back into the neutral zone. You see on the replay here, Patrice Skorpakova was the one who walked in all alone there on Sheeran. For those Czech fans that are watching back home that speak English, I will do my best to pronounce the players' names. Also for the Swiss fans, I see a lot of French names, a lot of German names here. I will do my best for them. And that is dumped in down deep. Picked up by the Czech Republic. Chase all the way down into the Swiss zone, picked up by Switzerland. Intercepted at the red line by Czech Republic. Loose ball, not able to be corralled by either team. And the ball goes all the way into the Czech zone. Picked up by the Czechs. Intercepted. Good read on the play there as Martina Landova, number 61, was all alone. Break in for the Swiss. Good poke check there on the back check by number 86, I believe, Teresa Istrakova. She ends up with the ball, centers it, ends up going all the way to the near boards. As chance of Switzerland break out, what I believe is in the native German language. Might be German, might be French, can't really hear from over here with the headset on. But a large Swiss home crowd contingent rooting on these amazing ladies as they look to get their first win of the tournament. So back behind the net is Switzerland. Last minute of play in the period. That's Martina Muller with it. Muller's going to dump it off over to Scaglioso. Scaglioso has it up along the far boards over to Bissig. Switzerland has it now in the neutral zone. 40 seconds remaining. Switzerland trying to gain the zone. Good stick work there by both teams. Player lost their footing. Czechs gain the zone, giving chase. And we have 23 seconds remaining. So the faceoff will come down to the right of the Swiss netminder, who's been excellent in net, Anja Sheeran. Faceoff won back by the Czechs and then picked up by the Swiss. The clock is not running right now. They started it late. There may be a referee timeout coming up here as we got a flooring call for them to adjust the clock.
Ball.
See if they adjust the number of time remaining. All right, 16.2 seconds left. 0-0 nearing the end of the first. Shot blocked by Switzerland. They've done a great job all game clogging the shooting lanes. Long wrist shot goes high over the net. Less than 10 seconds left. Czech still applying pressure, trying to get one. Centering attempt, and oh, what a stop! Sheeran at the buzzer! Boy, she has been outstanding this first period. So that'll do it. 0-0. We head to the intermission. 10-minute break between period, folks. We'll be back at 10. Join us for the start of the second. Switzerland 0, Czech Republic 0.
Wasted. Ik zit er met de klok niet. Wasted.
Lass deinen Traum wahr werden. Wird zum Profi. ochsnerhockey.ch
And we're back to bring you the action. Apologies for the delay there. I had to run up several flights of stairs. If you were watching the stream, you probably saw that happen live. I'm also the promotions director for the International Street and Ball Hockey Federation, and I just had the honor and distinction of inducting 3 people into the Hall of Fame. Sebastian Pico in the builder category. As the Czech Republic walks in, another great save by Sheeran, but the ball skittered loose. Referee lost sight of it. Sebastian Pico in the builder category is one of the tournament organizers here. He's also the president and CEO of the local hockey club, EHC Vis. He's been involved in Swiss ball hockey for several decades. Absolutely deserves it. Marco Friedli, a referee who has refereed in, I believe, 12 total world championships across several divisions. A Switzerland native. And then lastly was the current Swiss head coach, Tibor Kapanik. And all 3 of them were unanimous selections. So if you see them on social media or you want to say something nice, you can always send a message to Swiss Street Hockey. They are on Facebook and Instagram, and offer them your congratulations. As soon as this game ends, we will be announcing the full list of Hall of Fame inductees for 2024. We have a total class of 17. It's the largest ever inducted in our history. As the referee has her arm up for a penalty, waiting for the Swiss to take possession. Czech Republic has it along the near board. And now we're going to get a whistle. So just to finish up my Hall of Fame spiel, the ISBHF Hall of Fame page is up and active. You can find it on our website. Just go to isbhf.com. And then you'll see a link right to the Hall of Fame page. As I said, this is the largest class that we have ever inducted. 17 total new players, builders, coaches, and a referee, Marco Friedli. We're very, very happy to have them inducted and recognize them for all their outstanding contributions and effort over decades. So back to the action. Czech Republic on the power play. So they get a 2-minute woman advantage here. Czechs are known for having a very keen passing power play. We'll see if they put that to good use here. There's one. They're known to work the ball sort of tic-tac-toe style, similar to the Canadians, but ultimately end up trying to get the ball down and deep low for the goaltender. And as they like to say in the NHL, bury the garbage. So we'll see if that's what they try to do here as they successfully gain the zone. So Czechs have it. Shot, pad save by Sheeran. Oh, she has just been absolutely solid. Position-wise, rebound control, really keeping her team in this game, as the Swiss really haven't been able to generate any sustained pressure, so to speak of. And I'm sure head coach Gerhard Christen is very happy to have her on the roster. So Czechs have it down low, below the goal line, back up to the point. Working it, here comes a shot, down low. Loose ball, there it is. Czechs unable to get a stick on it. That's what they try to do. Get players down low in front, bury rebounds. Skorpiakova had it. Dumped it back to the point. Over to Radova. Radova has it. Sent it down low. Over to Pangerlova. Here's a shot from the point. Traffic in front. Another good positional save. Loud ovation here for the Swiss netminder, Anja Sheeran. Face off to the right of Sharon, one cleanly back by the Czechs. Long shot, swallowed up again by Sharon. That was off the stick of Lucy Manartova. Czechs, the way Sharon's playing, I think everyone watching the game would say the Czechs aren't going to beat her from that distance without traffic in front. So if they're going to shoot there, they want to shoot low pad and try and get a rebound, or intentionally shoot wide and have the ball carry them off the backboards and come back out into the front. And here's an opportunity. One-timer. Oh, she fanned on it. Oh, she's going to be kicking herself. That was Kristina Kaltunkova. Apologies for the pronunciation there. Shot down low, attempted deflection, missed, goes behind the net. All even. Switzerland successfully kills the power play as the Czechs bury one on a wraparound attempt just as the penalty ended. The Czech Republic takes the lead 1-0. Switzerland did a fantastic job killing that entire penalty. And then right at the end, just as their fifth player had entered their defensive zone, the Czech Republic was able to pull off a wraparound. I'll get you that goal scorer here in just a second. As soon as we see it on the replay. I believe that was Carolina Kosanova, number 21. Take a look on the replay. So you can see her with the ball there. Yep, it was number 21, Carolina Kosanova. So 1-0, 10:20 left in the second period. Intercepted in the neutral zone by the Czech Republic. They're still on sides. Centering attempt, shot blocked. Good job there clogging the shooting lane. Very heads-up play there by number 75, Julia Scaglioso. Czech Republic steal the ball along the far boards. Walks in, shot, goes well wide. Czech Republic still with sustained pressure. Switzerland desperately needs to get a clear here. Try and get either some fresh legs or some sustained pressure in the Czech zone as the ball ends up on the stick of number 8, Cheyenne Galler. Intercepted again by the Czech Republic. The Swiss have got to do a better job with their passes through the neutral zone. I think that's going to be a coaching point between the second and third period. They've just not been as tight as you want the team to be here at a World Championship, especially when you're playing a very experienced team like the Czech Republic. So we have a flooring call, and the faceoff will come all the way down deep into the Swiss zone. 9:05 remaining here. Second period, Czech Republic up 1-0. And again, you can get stats. We have live scoring in effect on stats.isbhf.com. Wrist shot, deflected down. I believe that was a Swiss defender that got a stick on that and deflected it wide of the net. And on the goal there, so Kosanova was assisted by number 22, Lucy Manartova. Lone assist on that. There was no second assist as the Swiss now dump it deep into the Czech Republic zone. Rifled up along the near boards. Picked up by the Czechs. Centering pass into the neutral zone. Czechs trying to get a breakout going. Centered, stopped at the blue line. Loose ball. Sent back into the Swiss zone by the Swiss defender as she wanted to just get it deep and go off for a change. So the Swiss defense wait for their forwards to come out. Outlet pass goes wide. However, that could play to the Swiss advantage. Good poke check there by the Czech defender as somebody blew a tire. So that was the goal scorer there that actually had that good poke check, Carolina Kosanova. Ball comes up along the near boards. Picked up by the Czechs, centering attempt. Looking to carry it into the Swiss zone, they do. Czechs trying to set something up, trying to walk in all alone. She does, shot, score! The Czech go up 2-0, number 98. Kristina Kaltunkova made a nifty move along the boards, walked in and then buried it, I believe 5-hole. Well, hard to fault Sharon on that one. I mean, if you're a defenseman, you know, pull a John Madden here and state the obvious, right? You can't let people walk in all alone on your goaltender, right? Goalies can't save everything. Going to be something that the coaching staff will need to tighten up there and make sure that the Swiss defenders don't, for lack of a better term, fall for those moves. So if you watch here, took the wrong angle on the poke check. No, that was not 5-hole. That was, I believe, right above the pad. I should be able to see it here on this angle, between the pad and the glove. Yes. So 2-0. Just about 7-minute period, 7-minute mark remaining as the Czech's going to break it here. It goes for the poke check. Good job by Sheeran, able to beat the Czech defender there. So just under 7 minutes remaining. Get you the assists on the second goal score here after number 98, Kristina Kaltunkova, buried it on the number 2 hole. Just above the pad and between the glove, the Swiss netminder Sharon. Oh, nifty move. Shot just goes high over the net. That was Andrea Kantarova. Switzerland chips it up out of the zone. Czech go back to collect. Czechs gain the zone. Long shot, well wide. So it looks like the Swiss are getting some line changes there with their forwards, and then their other defender's going to come off, get some fresh legs too. As the ball is misplayed there along the boards, dangerous, and now the Czechs take advantage of that miscue. Over to the far boards, dumped in on net, and now Sharon's just going to dive and cover and let the team get resettled with just under 6 minutes remaining here in the second period. So the assist on the second goal was Manhartova again. So she's got 2 assists on the game, assisted on both goals. There was no second assist as the Czechs have an opportunity here. Poke checked away. Good, smart heads-up play by Sheeran again. Czech Republic run back into their zone to corral this up. Battle up along the far boards. It's the center red line. Referee yelling at him to move the feet, move the feet. See the ball trickling loose. Picked up by the Swiss. Intercepted again by the Czechs. Swiss got to tighten that up. Their neutral zone stick work has not been on point this game. Need to be better when you're playing a very sharp team like the Czech Republic. Czechs still with pressure inside the Swiss zone. Back to the point, long wrist shot, goes high over the net. That was Zuzana Martinu that took that long wrist shot. And we have just passed the 5-minute mark remaining here in the second period, 4 minutes, 56 seconds. 2-0, Czech Republic leading the home team, Switzerland. So dump back into the Swiss zone. Swiss gain possession. Still trying to find a way to go with it. That was number 91, Emma Berry. Finally dumped it back behind net over to Manon Ray. kept in at the red line by Switzerland, then picked up by the Czechs. Intercepted by the Swiss. Good read on the play there. Dumped it in deep, but did not go give chase. And looks like the Swiss are going to get some line changes as the Czechs regroup behind their net. Battle along the near boards. Neither team with possession. Now the ball skitters loose towards the net. Picked up by Switzerland, but referee has their arm up. And we are going to get a holding call here against Switzerland. So unfortunate for them. They're going to go down a woman. 3:55 remaining here in the second period. Down 2-0. They can't afford to go down 3. I'm sure head coach Gerhard Christen is telling his penalty killers, make sure you get in the lanes of traffic. Don't give them any clean looks at the net. Face off one cleanly back by the Czech Republic. Shot. Score! The Czech Republic on a quick bang-bang play. It looked like for a second there that Sheeran thought she had it, but somehow it found the back of the net. She seemed surprised when the referee signaled goal. Tough to see from my angle up here in the bird box, but we'll get a better look at it on the replay. The penalty was on number 87. That's why I was quiet there for a second, trying to listen to the call. So the holding call was on number 87. And an unfortunate turn of events here as we take a look at the replay. So there's the pass down low, and it was just quick bang. Yeah, so I think it went off of Sheeran's blocker. Might be able to see it on this angle. Yeah, it did. It went off of her blocker. That's why she thought she had it. Well, again, you know, as a goaltender myself, you can't save them all. It's unfortunate. It's nothing that you can do, right? Sometimes the ball just takes a bad bounce and it finds the back of the net, but she's a world championship level goaltender. I'm sure she'll put it behind her and just focus on the next save, as any goalie coach will tell you. There's nothing you can do about the ones you let in. Just focus on one save at a time. As Swiss make a nice steal, but then the Czechs in turn make a nice steal as we approach the 3-minute mark remaining here in the second period. Poke checked away. Czech Republic still with some good stick work there. Good pinch by the defense. That's number 12, Patrice Skorpakova. Threw it on net. Skorpakova still with it, trying to center. It centers, it goes off of a foot. The Swiss player, I believe, number 75, Giulio Scagliosa, and now it's 4-0, Czech Republic. And Switzerland finds himself in a deep hole with 2 minutes and 55 seconds remaining. What an unfortunate 2 minutes of hockey right there for Switzerland. They were right in this game. See here on the replay, it looked like just a harmless centering attempt, and it just went off of her foot. I mean, right into the back of the net. There it is. But as you've heard me say, I've called a few games already, and you'll hear me say throughout the rest of the week, if the worst option you have is to throw the ball at the net, that is not a bad option. And that's a textbook example of why. You never know what can happen when you put the ball on net. Well, Czech head coach Mikhail Brulik has got to be happy. But conversely for Switzerland, I'm sure Gerhard Christen is going to be trying to pull deep into his bag of tricks here during the intermission to try and get something going. Czech still with the ball. Shot goes wide. Back behind the net. Picked up by Switzerland. Dumped towards the near boards. Loose ball. Crowded up by the Czechs. Intercepted by Switzerland, but poke check was a little too hard. And Czechs end up poking it back in down deep. Ends up on the stick of Landova. Shot. Saved. Bounced up into the air. Landova goes and gives chase back behind the net. Setting her attempt blocked. Good footwork there by Celie Hofer. So Switzerland back behind the net as we approach 90 seconds remaining here in the second period. Switzerland in a deep hole, 4-0 against the veteran Czech Republic squad. Battle in the neutral zone along the far boards, picked up by the Czech. They don't have numbers. See what they try and do here. Setting attempt is just going to end up being swallowed up by Sheeran. With 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in the second. So just looking at the stats here, the Czech netminder Anita Zherakova has made 9 saves, and the Swiss netminder Anja Sheeran has made 23. So it just goes to show you the Czechs have really controlled the pace of play and attack zone time. And if the Swiss want to have any hope of getting back in this game, they got to figure out a way to get through the neutral zone cleaner. So we're under 1 minute left. Swiss trying to poke check it out of the zone. 2 Czech defenders there, now 2 Swiss defenders there. Referee yelling at him to move it. Ball skirts loose. Run towards the corner. Corralled by Switzerland, back behind the net. 40 seconds remaining, up along the boards. But there's another example of what I'm talking about when I say tighten it up through the neutral zone, right? So that pass needs to be a little bit tighter, and it's another example there, right? So the Switzerland had an opportunity, number 91. You know, that's Emma Berry. And folks, I'm not criticizing. I'm not a world championship level player by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not criticizing. I'm just trying to play the role of play-by-play announcer and color commentator. When we talk about being crisper through the neutral zone, being tighter on your passes, that last potential 2-on-1 is a perfect example. So had number 91 Emma Berry been able to corral that ball in the neutral zone, they would have had a 2-on-1 opportunity. And if they would have proceeded to then bury that, that gives you a lot of momentum going into the intermission between the second and the third period. So while it may not seem like it from afar, you know, but when you start to get to the high levels of hockey, one of the things you hear coaches always talk about, right, is being tight on your passing lanes. As the Czech Republic have an opportunity here with 5 seconds left. Sheeran smothers it. So we'll have a face-off off to her. Right, but getting back to the coaching points, you know, the coaches talk about, you know, being tight on your passing lanes, right, and tight with your passes. You know, neutral zone is extremely important in terms of generating offensive attacks and countering back checks. So if you don't make a good outlet pass into the neutral zone, it gives the attacking team a chance to back check and catch up with your forwards, right? Whereas if you can lead them and make a good pass, you can keep their momentum running. They can generate offensive scoring chances. So I'm sure that's something head coach Gerhard Kristen will be focusing on with these ladies. Conversely, for the Czech Republic and Mikhail Brulik, he's got to be happy with what he's seen. Probably going to tell them, ladies, right, we're 15 minutes away from our first W of the tournament. Let's not change anything. Continue to do what we're due and not take any bad penalties. So the 10-minute break between periods, we'll be back for the start of the third. Czech Republic 4, Switzerland 0.
dein Traum wahr werden. Wird zum Profi. ochsnerhockey.ch
Welcome back to the ring, Team Czech Republic.
And we're just about ready here for the start of the third period. Czech Republic up 4-0 on home nation Switzerland, making their first appearance here in the women's division since 2015. So absolutely fantastic to have them back competing for some hardware here in the women's division. I know that the Swiss Street Hockey Federation has done a tremendous amount of work recruiting players and making sure that they had camps and trying to develop some of the younger players that are on their roster. You know, without volunteers, none of this stuff would happen. So we want to congratulate them as we get a whistle here, it looks like for a high stick. We're getting back to Switzerland, their first appearance here in the women's division since 2015, and speaking with, their head coach before the game, he talked about, the excitement levels for these amazing ladies and the coaching staff, and really the entire Swiss Street Hockey Federation is just so happy to see them back here competing after what has been tantamount to years of hard work and dedication from numerous volunteers to assemble this team. And I want to certainly tip my cap to everybody that was involved. As shot goes wide. So Czech Republic still with pressure here in the zone. Shot, score! Nice tic-tac-toe pass. I believe that was number 12. Patrice Skorpakova, who buried that into the empty net. All right, ball, apologies for those technical issues there. I had to reset the microphone. Ball gets kicked back into the Swiss zone. Battle along the far boards. Still battling along the far boards. Switzerland trying to get possession here to get a counterattack going, but they've really been struggling, as we've talked about, with their outlet passes. And conversely, the Czechs have just been outstanding in suffocating them. Battle along the far boards. Loose ball picked up by the Czech Republic. Center attempt goes clear through the crease, over to the near boards. Battle down low. That's number 71, Angela Baumgartner for Switzerland, that was doing battle with number 8, Barbara Patakova for the Czech Republic. Ball comes out to the red zone. Here's Czech Republic with an opportunity, all alone center. Good collapse down there by the Swiss defensive team. Centering attempt, trying to 2-on-1, shot! Think it went off of a foot there. That would have been number 6 for the Czech Republic as we're under 11 minutes left to play. And so we have a flooring with 10:32 remaining. Czech Republic leading home team Switzerland 5-0. Still a battle behind the net. Ball kicked out in front. Switzerland still trying to get a stick on it. Dumped in down low, and the Czech netminder is going to go ahead and smother that. That ball's going to carry him all the way down low. We're going to get a flooring call here. The faceoff will come back down into the Czech zone. Face-off won back by the Czech Republic. Rifled around the far boards. Chipped up into the neutral zone. Good keep in there at the point by Switzerland. Scaglioso. Back down behind the net. Switzerland working it. Centering attempt. Went through the crease. Good effort, though, there by Marilyn Janjic. Shot. Oh, just goes wide. Just missed the post as the Czech netminder was down. I believe she got pushed down by her own defender there. Another shot goes off the side of the net. Switzerland now with some sustained pressure. Czechs look at gas shot. Blocked in front. Can Switzerland keep the momentum here? Czechs gather it up. Switzerland now carrying it into the Czech zone. Dumps it in on net where they're going to get a whistle here. So see if teams get some line changes, get fresh legs out there. So Czech Republic still with it in the near board. Sent back in, down deep into their zone, behind the net. Over towards the far boards. Chipped in deep by the Czech Republic. Good stick handling effort there. Shot goes wide, high, over the crossbar. That was number 9, Carolina Prochakova. So corralled up by Switzerland. They're going to dump it in. We might get a flooring call here. Yes, we are. So 7:39 remaining. Czech Republic with a commanding 5-0 lead. Long shot goes wide. Intercepted by the Czech Republic, walking in. Oh, good save to keep it 5-0. Shearer still standing tall. Down low, checks with it, centering attempt, intercepted by the Swiss. Into the neutral zone, poke check away. Men on Ray, giving chase. Chips it into the Czech zone. Now she's going to go off for a change. Uh-oh, defensive breakdown, walking in all alone. Shot goes off the back of her stick. Unable to put that back onto her forehand was Barbara Patakova. Swiss trying to clog the neutral zone. 6:30 remaining. And now Switzerland gets a break. They have numbers, trying to stick on the through shot, stick to side. Good save, still pitching a shutout, Aneta Jirikova. Shot just goes wide. Good centering attempt by the Swiss. Back behind the net. Centering attempt onto the stick of the Czech forward. That was number 12, Patrice Skorpakova. Skorpakova still with it. Centering attempt. Oh, good save. Rebound. Goes wide. Then hits the foot. Karam's back behind the net. Battle down deep, won by Switzerland. Opportunity here, shot, hit a body in front. Way to clog the lane there on the part of number 66, Teresa Radova for the Czech Republic, as here they come back down the other way. Shot goes wide. That was Kubanova screaming in all alone. And we get a whistle now, under 5 minutes remaining. Kept in at the blue line by the Czech Republic. Back behind the net. Still stick work being done back behind the net. Neither team out of game possession. Finally, the Czech Republic does. Center attempt. Good poke check there by the Swiss. That was number 81, Celine Zabinden. Ball goes off of a foot up into the air. Intercepted by the Czechs. Approaching the 4-minute mark. Long shot from the point, easily handled by Sheeran. Rebound, unable to get a glove on it. Now cleared by the Swiss out of the zone. Centering attempt goes off of a foot. And then that was easily sticked aside by Sharon. So 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the third and final period. Czech Republic with a commanding 5-0 lead over the home nation, Switzerland. First appearance since 2015 in the women's division. So happy to have them back after countless hours of work by many, many volunteers. Recruiting players, organizing tryouts, camps. ISBHF family very happy to have them here. Good passing there by the Czech Republic, down low, all alone, center attempt, shot, score, tic-tac-toe again. Looks like number 98, Kristina Kaltunkova, was the one who buried that to make it 6-0. And again, as I've said, I believe during each of the broadcasts I've done, I've done goal differential matters. So, you may say, well, why is the team up 5-0? Continuing to effectively keep the Jets turned on. It's the first tiebreaker. So if there's a tie between two teams in the final round robin standings, goal differential matters. So take a look at the replay here. Really precision passing from the Czechs. That was very nice. Absolutely nothing the Swiss netminder could do. Czech Republic comes away from that battle into the neutral zone. Swiss counter, but intercepted by the Czechs, and they're going to whistle that play offsides as we have 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Looks like there's an issue with either a goaltender's pad or her shoelace that they're taking care of right now with 2:08 remaining in the third final period. 6-0 Czech Republic. They've been very dominant all game. The more seasoned team, the more veteran team of these world champions. This is championships, pardon me. This is Switzerland's first appearance since 2015, and a commendable effort, all things considered. This is a mix of some veteran players that have been playing in the Swiss Street Ball Hockey Federation for some time, but also some newer, younger players that are relatively new to the sport, and of course, new to the elite level of the sport here at a World Championship. So while it may seem like 6-0 is a bit of a blowout, all things considered, I think the Swiss did very well for their first outing since 2015, going up against a powerhouse like the Czech Republic. As we get a whistle on it here with 1:33 remaining. So ball sent through the neutral zone. Here comes Switzerland. They have numbers. A little too high of a saucer pass there for number 77, Martina Muller, to handle as we approach the 1 minute mark, 1:07 remaining. So we end up close to 30 seconds remaining here after a quick battle in neutral zone. Ball goes back into the Switzerland zone. Sent up along the near boards. Swiss player loses her footing as Switzerland tries to get one last breakout going. See, that's good to see, right? Players still hustling. There's Manon Ray, right? Down 6-0, but not giving up on the play. That's a sign of why she's on a World Championship level roster. It's under 5 seconds. That should just about do it. And that'll be your final. Czech Republic 6, Switzerland 0. Czechs very fundamentally sound all throughout the game. Switzerland really just had no answer for the neutral zone. And in my opinion, if I could act as commentator for a second, that's really where this game was decided. Czechs had a lot of opportunities that basically generated from their ability to break up neutral zone play. Hats off to Anja Sheeran, the Swiss netminder. Listen, it's their first appearance since 2015. I got to give credit where credit's due, right? It's a high-pressure environment. She showed up. It's her first time playing in a World Championship, and she played big. She made every single save she needed to, and she could have. If there's any finger pointing to be done, after the game by the Monday morning quarterbacks, nobody's going to be pointing fingers at the Swiss netminder. I can tell you that much. You lose 6-0 and make 35 saves. That's not on you. Now, conversely for the Czechs, they got to obviously be happy with the shutout, right? The goal differential matters, so this is good momentum for them. And I'm sure, head coach Michael Brulik will be very happy in the winning locker room afterwards. Stick around here for the player of the game ceremony. See if I can call the correct player of the ceremony. I think for the Czech Republic, I'm going to go with Skorpakova. She had 2 goals. And for Switzerland, I'm going to go with the netminder. Well, no surprise there. Number 44, Anja Sheeran. Absolutely outstanding in net today. You can see the big smile on her face as she's so happy to accept that award. Good for her. First game at a World Championship, she wins Player of the Game. Well, it looks like I was wrong for the Czech Republic. They went with number 66 for the player of the game, who was Teresa Radova. Radova certainly played well. She was all over the floor on defense. Absolutely worthy of it. I mean, you pitch a shutout, right? And you're the coach. probably going to give it to one of your defenders. So all the credit in the world to the Czech Republic. They handled their business. Again, welcome Switzerland and the women's team back to the ISBHF Women's Division family. Very glad to have you. And they are getting a loud round of applause here from the fans in attendance. So that'll do it for me, folks. Stay tuned for the next game. Should be starting at 6:15 local time. Be called in Slovakian, as we have the Slovakian men taking on Greece. My partner in crime, Andy Nemchek, will be calling that game. So look forward to seeing you. And then after that, we have the hometown Switzerland team taking on Finland in the marquee matchup of the day at 8:30 local time. We'll see you soon.
Congratulations in Czech Republic. And now we get prepared for the next game here in the Lottoring on the World Championship Ball Hockey 2024 in Pittsburgh. Next game will be Greece, Slovakia at 18:15. Don't be late.
Minutos, replay.